I have something great.
Yeah. Oh, booze.
Booze.
Oh, and
Oh.
here we are. We made it to the Tavern Talk for another episode of the Valley of Spirits. So we are coming at you from the Razor Hill Inn in Durotar. Brother Grosk has hooked both of us up tonight, so we're feeling extra good for this episode of the Tavern Talk.
Yeah.
And we're going to go over some of our goals for this year.
Yep.
We're going to talk a little bit about botting in Warcraft Classic.
Specifically hardcore, too, which is... I don't know why you would, but anyway. Keep
And
going.
then we're going to also talk about some hardcore deaths of some. There's a couple of big people out there that have had some big deaths. And then my two topics, I wanted to talk about they're keeping delves very relevant with the new crest system. Very excited for that.
Very
and then
nice.
I wanted to talk about kind of what I expect from these dinars, however you pronounce it. Because
can I order from
no.
I need my chili dog.
But so yeah, we're gonna talk about reputations and rates and kind of how we feel about that. So those are our topics for today. Bottoms up.
Yeah,
actually.
Cheersies. I hope the mic isn't picking up when I drink wine. I feel so bad.
Well, this is the Tavern Talk. I edit this, so I'll make sure I'll make it super loud.
It's deafening. It's just deafening to the audience.
So let's get started. What are our goals kind of as a channel this year, Nick? What are we feeling?
Yeah, so I know we're doing we both have our own because we're handling a bunch of different things by ourselves for the channel. For me, I am going to be continuing to dig into the economy stuff. I started doing it towards the tail end of last year, and when we took the break, I was like, I'm not touching anything on this because I want to come back to it. Like I want a fresh restart. Like not fresh restart, but I want to just have a break. So I'm digging still into that. I'm going through TSM. I want to have a whole series on just like how to operate TSM, how it works and stuff like that. But I also need to have back data for that in mind so I can show you guys things. So that means I have to learn it, I have to play with it, and then I have to make the videos. So it'll be a bit. I'm also going to try to get the hardcore series up to a better quality. I do have an idea with the latest episode, and I've been working on it. It just takes a little longer. It's a lot more intuitive with it instead of me just finding something to talk about and jibber jabbering for an hour and then uploading it. So I'm trying to get you guys better quality on that. And then once I get the process down, it'll have a better consistent upload. So those are my two big goals for this year is a news series for us and updating and making one series better. Jordan, what about you?
I am interested in working on our live culture. One thing I want to make better this year is I want to figure out what kind of streams work for us, because ultimately we want to move. We've talked about it before. We want to move part of our regular show live.
Yeah.
But we want to kind of get some experience in this space first, and
100%.
we have a little bit. There's still some editing magic that happens. We still make some mistakes, and so we're working on it. I think what I want to create is kind of like a dynamic streaming community experience would be my goal, where everybody in the guild would potentially watch the stream if they want, or they'd be able to come in and chat, or if people are in the chat and watching the stream, then they can join. And kind of want to find.
Are you saying so I'm not trying to catch up. Are you saying I'm trying to understand where you're going with it, because first time you and I've talked about it. It's say we had a Discord that we went live in, and then we could have an open link, or what do you mean by talking?
I think we could use some of the things we have set up already to do that.
Okay.
So over the next year, remember this is over the whole year. I do want to kind of create a pretty conducive live experience, something that the viewer can really feel like a part of. Whether it's in the early stages, we'll be able to do things where you'll be able to play with us. But if we were to, progress into, we'll have to figure out, how well it does. If we have 1,000 people tuning in, we're going to have to figure out, what we're going to do about that. But while it's small and cute, I think it'd be really cool to bring people in and have some
Well,
really cool pug groups, right?
oh yeah. Well, you
So
and I have even talked about like I don't remember where we came up with the idea of like say we did Tavern Talk live. Bleh. Wow, I've only had 3 sips of wine. um, but it'd be cool if we could do it like in game, right? Like we do it live on YouTube, but then record OBS in game through it and all the technical crap. But like then people who play or watch our stuff can also come in and hang out in the tavern with us in the game. So I think
yeah,
that'd be something cool. I don't know if we could do that because, like you said,
it's a cute
it's
idea.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool stuff to do on when we're small, like we are now. But we're gonna get big. The hope is we get big. But if that doesn't happen, fine. I'm fine just doing this for fun. Like
Try to be a vessel of ultimately I want to be two things.
vessel.
Number one thing we're doing pretty well is we're being a pretty decent vessel of information.
Mhm.
And in fact, if we're not conveying it to you in necessarily the entirely properly way, we do give you the sources to go look it up for yourself.
Yeah.
For example. So I am trying to, one thing we're still going to work on and refine, but one thing we're doing decent at is presenting information.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I want to do is connecting to the community, which I think doing live things is a really, really good way to connect with the community.
Yeah, we're not going on tour anytime soon though, so don't.
No. No.
Self-funded. Guys, look,
No,
we're big.
no. That's not what I mean. I mean, talking about doing like live streams and stuff.
Yeah,
No,
no,
we're not
I know.
touring. So we definitely we're trying some things. We're going to keep the
Mhm.
content fresh. We want to, you know how modern media landscape is now. You have to be on your toes. Let's move on.
Yeah.
That was a little bit longer. So yeah, Nick is going to work on making sure that the hardcore and the classic content continues
now.
to get better refined.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna work on connecting with you guys as a community. So that's our two real
cool.
goals.
You're taking over the social medias?
No, no, I'm not. Actually,
How are you gonna reach out? How are you gonna get to know?
live, obviously. No, dude, you're like the Facebook secretary, bro. I can be like, yeah, dude, yeah, complain to Nick on Facebook. You know.
I know everybody who sends us a complaint. I'm like, oh, file it away. Just let me pull out the long drawer.
This segment has gone on a bit too long. Yeah. Let's move on to botting and Warcraft Classic. What do you have for us here, Nick?
So I saw, God, it was like a day or two ago. I was just chilling out and saw a notification on my phone from Pirate Software, who I like to watch in my spare time on YouTube. He had like one that was a botting in hardcore, like World of Warcraft hardcore. And so watch it. It was a short. He does a lot more shorts, I think, than he does full videos. He was discussing while streaming that someone's bot was like perfectly on this path, and he's like, see how they're doing this? This is botting. See how they're like going straight to this node? That's botting. Like,
so this is a bot. You can tell very clearly that that's a bot right there. Watch the way that it moves. See that? See how it's moving on a path perfectly? Let's go watch it. It's going to kill each one of these Thistle Matriarchs. Instantly skins it. See how it's moving through the enemy, even though the enemy's attacking it? It's moving to a node here so it can go and mine this. It's got skinning and mining. Why bot, though? They're likely making real money off of it. So the way that this generally works is they're going to be farming a whole bunch of skin. They'll be selling that skin for gold in the auction house and then using that gold to go and sell for real money because it's a hardcore realm, which makes the gold dramatically more valuable. So gold selling. These types of bots are a lot more sophisticated because they have to never die, which means they have to go and get them up to 60 in the first place and then go and do the skinning and set up the route and routine. This cave is known for having this type of botting behavior, so not really surprising, and at that, it's a very obvious one. So, Blizzard will take it down. Glorious World of Warcraft GMs, I beseech you, may you band for his botting ways. Agrand, I beseech you. I know you are there, hiding amongst the shadows. Delete this man. You know it in your heart to be true. You know what he is. Deep in your bones. Yes! Yes! Be gone!
And it's one guy, and he found him live. And I was like, it blew my mind that someone would, and I get why, because gold is potentially more valuable on the hardcore servers. So the dollar value of it could be worth more than a retail server. But the fact that someone spent the time to get a character to 60, maybe got them geared, and then turned them into a bot to get your stuff banned, probably, is like, why are you? I just don't get gold farming in hardcore. So it's just an interesting thing that I thought we could talk about.
The truth is, you only have to make that bot make the sub, right? It has to make $15 a month in gold at least.
Right.
And so there has been a huge community of people that are like bot hunting. They call them bot hunters.
Yeah,
they
I'm
go
even
and kill
talking
all these
selling it,
bots.
though.
While selling gold, that gets really complicated in things like hardcore because you don't have like a WoW token there. So it brings it back into a very fluctuating, unsafe,
Well, do you remember
manipulative, potentially economy.
100%. Do you remember back in the day when like you had all the like I think it was China, I want to say did it actually like had people just playing WoW to get gold to then sell.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a whole maybe I don't remember, but it was huge. But people are still like doing that, like gold farming, skinning to whatever to get gold to then sell it like for $1 value in hardcore. It's like
so the thing is I think the problem is now there's so few of us. I think there's so few of us actually botting. It's like a guy with a server farm has hired a couple of guys to just click on these screens every now and again and make sure they're working, and he's running thousands of instances of World of Warcraft in this bot farm. And I think that these are the people that are actually doing most of this.
Yeah.
Like, you and I aren't just installing some bot script on our hardcore character and then going to work, right? Like,
well, I mean, I would never do that because it puts my, like, 15 years of life is on that account. I do not want it banned. Like,
for real.
That's the way I look at it, is like, I'm putting that in jeopardy.
I'm interested to see where they go with it. I think everybody's like, oh, Blizzard could just have a guy walk around and see that these guys are obviously botting, and it's like, well,
I got
do you know how many instances there are of World of Warcraft? Do you know how many servers there are?
Yeah.
Do you know how many?
Yeah. So
it's not one guy.
So Pirate Software also worked at Blizzard for a bit and did originally do like some like back in the day when like botting was very robust. So the way he would like catch bots is just put a rock in front of them, and if they would learn how to go around the rock, because they didn't know how to do that at the time, how to go around an obstacle just randomly placed in front of them, and they'd be like, oh, that's a bot. And then when they learned how to go around them, they then had to become more intuitive with it. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that you learn from watching Pirate Software. I like his content. It's good. There's a lot of random like learning.
No, he's
stuff.
cool. He's keeping us awake. Let me put it that way. I like his content.
But
so
anyway,
moving on.
Yeah, that was the whole botting thing.
So we're gonna talk about some less high quality personalities that have recently done some things in the hardcore world.
Oh, goody.
I don't know if you keep up with streamers or anything, guys, but a lot of people have lost hardcore characters recently.
Hi.
Like the famous guild Onlyfangs is like falling apart now.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know that.
Yep, with Peekaboo and Zaryu and all those guys on it. Yeah, because
how's it? Explain that. What do you mean by falling apart?
Half the active team is dead.
Shit.
Yeah.
And then
Zaryu was leveling up a character. He's like, I died at 58. And then Peekaboo was all like, oh, dumbass, you fucking stupid dumbass, dies at 51. It's like,
karma's a bitch.
Right. And even Annie Fuchsia died recently.
Yeah.
Man. And she's one of the queens of Warcraft for sure.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. Definitely an interesting time. Maybe a good time to start streaming hardcore because all the famous people are leveling characters right now, right?
Hey, I could stream. I could do hardcore. Well,
go ahead.
That would be awesome, actually. That'd be fun. Maybe I'll do that for the hardcore content.
Maybe,
so much better than editing.
So we're gonna move on. Just make sure looking up some hardcore deaths right now would be worth a YouTube search right now for sure.
I mean, the farthest I've gotten is 22, 23 on a paladin.
I think I'm 10 on that one character we did.
Yeah, you didn't die though. You just stopped playing. You got to get back on. You got to play. You got to come to the dark side.
What was his name? I forgot his name, but the guy in the chat told me, said, no, stay free. Stay free in Classic. And I will, brother. I will stay free.
One of the commenters goes, no, Jordan, don't do it. It's dumb.
Don't do it. It was so funny. Legends in the chat. Thank you.
I love it.
So I'm excited to have Delves dropping some better crests. And
Yeah.
This is pretty exciting because you and I do these, like Mage
Yeah.
and Rep Pally. We've done these, and
Or my tank.
yeah, either one. And I think this is really hype because you could do they're flex dungeons ultimately, right?
Yeah.
Is what they are. And so you can bring whatever mixed group of, goofballs you can muster, and you can get them all into a group and do delves. And so now it's really, if you get a good group of maybe it's only 4 of you, so you don't have a Mythic Plus group, right?
Right.
But you can still go do the delve every time. And then you can get up to maybe 10s, 11s, 12s. And now you're going to be getting good gilded crests for it. You're going to be able to upgrade that 616 gear. That's exciting.
I do like that a lot.
There's a real post-game progression to delves.
Really? Explain.
It is. They do say that these gilded crests do only drop from tier 11 and upwards, which means that this is. Delves are no joke once you hit 9-10. Like, it starts getting wild. Like, don't stand in stuff ever. Make sure the spore bits are CC'd. Like,
I hate spore
bits.
I hate the spore delves so much. It's just annoying. It's like it's just an annoyance. It's not the fact that we can't do it. Like, we've overcome it, obviously, but it's
We'll
just
CC the spore bits or lock them or burst them real quick and then move the guy over here.
Or if you have a blink, get into it low once it starts that's not gonna move. Blink out of it.
Yeah, just bait them out and then blink out. Yep, I do that on the mage all the time.
You just got to use a lot of your additional stuff that you have.
Because once you get into high delves, you don't want to spend the damage on them because they have so much health.
Yeah.
So you don't want to focus them because they're time bombs, right? Yep. They murder their own health. So you almost got to blow them up in a good spot.
Well, so note on that too. They do affect the mobs. So if you like a spore bit, like if you are inside the radius, it'll push you out. You can do that to a mob. So you can lock the spore bit on the mob and then start running away from the mob while it's inside the radius, and it will take that damage and fly.
So and on higher levels, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, so you can use them to your advantage too. It's something we figured out.
Yeah, spore bits on 11s hit you for like 3.5 million, dude.
Jesus
it's crazy. Christ. Yeah. Yeah, so hit them with it if you can.
I did have one more hardcore thing. I just remembered.
Okay. Well, we're going back.
Yep. Rewind the tape. No, so something that we're on, I think it's on Doomhowl. It is Alliance, because that's what I play on it for funsies with one of my old Alliance guildmates that I know. Holy and I met while I was playing on the Alliance side like umpteen years ago. So we're just kind of playing on it for funsies. But we did make the Electric Boogaloo on Doomhowl. So if you want to join us, it is Alliance side. I will work and get a horde going. Don't worry, Jordan. I know you had that upset when I told you I did it.
I'm not. Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna play your Alliance garbage.
You weren't gonna play anyway. Don't tell me you were gonna play Classic.
Touche.
Aha! I got you there. But yeah, like, so if you wanna, if you are playing hardcore and you wanna still hang out with at least me, not Jordan, because he won't get on it. Especially
no, the retail guild though. See me on the retail side.
No, 100%. Like, if you want to join our guild, if you are more of a classic player, and especially the hardcore, I started the guild there. It's running. It's got like 8-9 members in it right now, so it's very fresh. Feel free to let us know. We will find you and we will get you an invite. If you're on retail, join the guild. We got a Discord. We can do Discord's open to both.
Retail club.
Like, we have, I don't know how, I think we have a good chunk of people in Discord. Like, it's good. We're trying to build that community.
We have a good community.
All things. And we'll get it too on the hardcore side. I don't know how much I'll play on it, but I'm kind of the classic guy in the guild right now.
You are.
Holy and I are.
You're the classic man.
Holy gets on after he gets home, and it's like, dude, are we doing hardcore? I was like, nah, man, I can't tonight. Or it's, hell yeah, and then we go for 5 hours straight. But anyway, sorry, that was the last. I just remembered it while you were talking about delves, so we can keep going. You have the Dinars. The Dinars drives
Dinars, Dinars, whatever.
No, yeah. What is the Guy Fieri? Dinars, dives, and something.
Oh, it's diners, drive-ins, and dives. There we
Yeah,
go.
there we go. Now you need to edit. You got to get the Guy Fieri haircut. You got to put it on a snap list. Because you do the editing.
Here's the
for it.
picture.
That's the thumbnail.
Oh my god. So anyway, yeah, our last topic. We got to get through this.
Yeah, sorry.
Under 30 minutes. Under 30 minutes. Let's go.
Yes.
These are essentially diners, dinners, whatever they're called, are essentially a renowned track for the raid. They did them in Shadowlands.
Yeah.
You're able to get a reputation, presumably from killing bosses and killing trash in the dungeon, that will add to a reputation that unlocks you things like skips in the dungeon. It'll give you things like a revive they're talking about, like a shaman revive in the dungeon, called jumper cables, for example.
Right.
I think they're getting experimental. I mean, that's what keeps retail interesting, right? Is because they're goofing around with stuff like this. That's why Classic, it's been done, 17 times now, right? So they're trying really new and fresh stuff.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. Like, I think it's great that they're doing that in the raid tier. And we talked about it even before the episode, both of them, that they've kind of done the skip stuff, and how are they going to deal with it when it's like, if I haven't done or reached a renown, how do they deal with it if Jordan's leading the raid or is an assistant lead?
Right.
And I brought up the point too that in I'm forgetting the raid in Dragonflight that had a skip, unless they all did. I don't remember. But only one person had
Sarkarath
a
skip.
Which one? Yeah. Well, not
Aberrus.
So
a big skip.
I think I'm thinking Aberrus off the top of my head. But you can skip in it, and just one person in the. You said they had to be an assistant or higher, and I don't know if that's true or not. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know. The fact that you just have to have one person in the raid that has the skip, I think they'll continue doing stuff like that. It just makes the most sense. Otherwise, you're burning that person's hard work.
Yeah, there is some of it though. Like, what if you don't want to have a queuing for a raid where you're asking for somebody with a good skip.
Yeah.
Right?
That's 100% true.
So there's a double-edged sword to this. I do think they should just open it up if it's a raid leader assistant. You can't just try. I mean, I guess it would be that easy. You could still make a listing and then just make him assistant once he gets in here with his skip, right? But
yeah, well, and you can even just be like, "Does anybody have a skip?" Oh, cool, you do. Done, assistant.
Boom,
like,
boom.
bam.
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, I don't skip my raids. I do all the bosses normally. I don't really do many skips. So
I don't see why, unless you're just going for
lower,
I don't know, an achievement or one piece off a boss, and that's the skip you want to go to. I get that. I just run it because it's like I just want to run the raid. Like when I'm doing a raid night, it's like it's 5 hours. I'm sitting my ass down.
Wow, I don't know about 5 hours.
No, I just mean it's going to be a longer time than me doing mythic dungeons.
I think it's good. I hope they utilize this well to people who do the raid a bunch will get loot and bonuses from doing it. And that's the intention of this mechanic, right? Hopefully they nail it. I don't want it to be necessarily like, what if you grind out this renown track by doing normal every week, time after time after time after time. But if I've done heroic only like twice or 3 times, he shouldn't be getting better gear, right? So there's a balance here. Is spamming normal shouldn't be the move, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
If you're going to progress through the content,
you want to, like you said, progress through. You should be doing it
get
more
them to
and
the
more.
next difficulty level, one way or another, right?
No, it's interesting on what they're doing, and I think, like you said, as long as they continue to force us to progress through the content, like if there's a cap on what we get in normals versus and then heroic and then mythic, it's not that good, and that's fine. If I could do a heroic raid and get some stuff out of that bonus, like awesome, let's do it.
Let me get something out of the way since we've had a bit of an unhinged tavern talk already.
It's always unhinged.
I had a talk with one of the guild members recently. Was talking about how, oh yeah, dude, we're gonna go mythic raid, and I was like, you can go. To be honest with you, it would be great if you learn how to play the game, and then you figure out your mechanics, and you tank for us, and then we pole vault you into a mythic guild. That's fine. That is totally fine with me. We're not doing what is required to get through mythic content. I'm not shaving DPS. I'm not pugging like that. I don't want to ever get there. And even if we do get an elite group of a ton of people, and then you guys all get together and want to do a mythic raid or something, then okay, go ahead.
If
I'm not doing it.
No, I'm with you. Like I personally do not have the time to commit to doing mythic raiding. I know
I don't have the heart.
Well, and you've been to that level. You've been to that level. Like I haven't. My personal life, I do not have a time. I got responsibilities.
It's not a game anymore to me, right?
Right. Like I have responsibilities that force me to be offline, and that's fine. That's just being an adult. But if we are graced enough, like graced enough is wrong. Like if we're blessed enough to have that community to be developed in our house, and we have our own Mythic Raid team, awesome.
So yeah,
cool.
remember the boog. Remember the boog as you go with method and get world first or whatever.
No, I'm saying like if we had our own team, like cool. Whoever is like gonna want to lead that, you lead that charge. We'll like you get all these extra little crap and whatnot. Like we'll figure it out. Like if we're a stepping guild, awesome. If we end up developing it, cool. It doesn't matter to me. We're just here for playing Warcraft and talking about it and having fun.
Like I will lead our normal nights. I'll lead a heroic raid, but I am never going to lead a mythic raid in this guild.
I don't think either of us.
I might participate, but I will never lead it.
If I have the DPS, I would go in. I'm not going to tank or heal a mythic. Healing stresses me out too much, and
healing a mythic
is on the
crazy.
Same level. Yeah,
I feel for those guys. Thank you, healers in the chat. I love you.
I got burnt out.
Comment down
healing.
below if you're a healer in the chat.
Yeah.
You have it tough right
they're
now.
The best, I'll be honest.
Definitely. All right, but we're over 30 minutes, Nick.
Oh,
Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll just stop.
No, that's all right. Send us out, bro. Let us go home. Let us out of here.
I am out of wine. So I guess we can end it.
I guess we have to call it. Yeah,
we do now. Thank you for tuning into another exciting episode of the Valley of Spirits. We're your hosts, Jordan and Nick, your go-to Horde players. Join us in Dornagal on the Mal'Ganis server and look up our guild, The Electric Boogaloo, on retail or Horde, Doomhowl, Alliance. There you go. For some epic adventures. Stay connected with us on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or X as is known these days by searching the Valley of Spirits podcast. Don't miss an episode and follow us on Spotify or anywhere you find your podcast. Check out our YouTube for additional content not found on our podcast platforms. And until next time, may your quest be glorious, your loot be plentiful, and as always, for the Horde.